Hey, so we're here at SeaWorld. This isn't the usual SeaWorld entrance. See, this is port of call. This is where you go for media events, and this is like the special media entrance. It's so cool. We were invited out to Pipeline's opening ceremony. Of course, I want to talk about Pipeline's opening ceremony, but today's film, today we're talking in depth about what I think about Pipeline, because this is one of my favorite roller coasters, and I need to share with you guys why. Are you guys excited for Pipeline? Sick. It's so cool to see such a big turnout for this event.
Pipeline joins our amazing portfolio of attractions as our 7th coaster. When you launch, you're standing, but soon you will realize you're surfing. The wave time, air time, motion is ridiculous and is the coolest experience I've ever had on a roller coaster. Are you ready to ride? Yeah! Are you ready to ride?
Yeah!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's ride!
Yeah! Dude, that opening ceremony was so cool. They did a great job hyping it up because that was such a fun event, and with all the confetti and the countdown and everything, it was just such a great time. I've already ridden this ride like 6 times, and so I'm here to just talk about this ride because there's so much to talk about. And so let's go in depth about this ride. So Pipeline is a brand new model of coaster called a surf coaster. We'll get into what the model is in just a little bit, but let's go over some stats really quick. It is such a thrilling ride. This ride features 2,950 feet of track length. It has one inversion. It launches at 60 miles per hour while you're standing. You're literally standing up like I am right here, but you launch at 60 miles per hour. It's insane. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is the best roller coaster in Orlando. And it's a bold statement. Let me back it up for you. Check this out. It's literally so cool. This is a first of its kind experience. The coaster manufacturer B&M used to make a lot of stand-up coasters, and they were all kind of notoriously known for being uncomfortable. They haven't made a stand-up coaster in a long time, and then they come out with Pipeline the surf coaster. This is a new model of coaster. It's not a stand-up coaster, it's called a surf coaster. And so what this is, it's a roller coaster where you're standing, but the seats bounce. You're locked into your seat and you're given 3 inches to move down and 3 inches to move up. You go flying on some of these airtime moments. It's really interesting because airtime is built into the ride. It makes a ride model that was once known as a very uncomfortable ride a really new, smooth, just perfect experience. And ask anybody that's ridden this. They love it. People love this ride because it's just so unique. The reason I believe it's the best in Orlando over great coasters like Mako and Velocicoaster is because there is nothing like this in the world. And so let's go talk about the layout of this ride because it's a pretty interesting layout. So Pipeline starts with you slowly rolling out of the station. This is where you're held right there on the launch track before a 0 to 60 mile per hour launch. But unlike most coasters, this launch isn't just straight track. Right there on the launch is a small little airtime hill, but the airtime it delivers is anything but small. Once you hit this bump is where you first experience the brand new bouncing seats. You feel this crazy airtime where you get ejected out, but then you float there for such a long period of time. It's the coolest experience, and that's just the start of the ride. You quickly turn into the biggest element in this ride, the overbank turn, or what SeaWorld is calling the hammerhead wave turn. This thing is just awesome. You go right over the path, and especially if you're on the right side of the train, you look to your right and you just see the pathway and all the people right under you. Then you cross over the path and you go into this big hill which delivers so much airtime. Once again, just like the launch, you're shot right out of your seat and you're flying as you head right towards the big corkscrew. But right before you hit that corkscrew, at the bottom of the hill, there's a splash effect. If you sit in the right seat, you could even get a little wet. Then after that, you're thrown into one of the most graceful elements of this ride. It's so smooth and it's so fast, yet you just hang there upside down for a little moment and it's so great. After that, you hit the ride's trim brakes. These trim brakes, also referred to as trims, can seriously ruin a ride. What trims are for is to slow down a train if it's going too fast. Pipeline does this, but you hardly even feel it, so it doesn't ruin your ride experience. And right after those trims, you're shot up right into another airtime hill, and you go flying out of your seat. Airtime is Pipeline's strongest game, as I feel like you're out of the seat more than you are in the seat. After that, you go into the second half of the ride, and looking at this from afar, it looks like it could be a seriously underwhelming part of the ride. Let me tell you, it is anything but underwhelming. This second half of the ride is almost as thrilling, if not more thrilling, than the first half. See, there's a series of helixes with airtime hills in between. And so you make your way into a 360-degree helix. And so during that moment, you feel all those positive G-forces. It's the opposite of airtime. Instead of going out of your seat, you're slammed into your seat. After that, you go into another turn full of heavy positives. But then, the airtime hill that's waiting for you right after that turn sends you flying over the path. The amount of time you spend in the air isn't even that long, as you slam back down onto your board, entering the 270-degree helix. After that, you hit one of the most unexpected parts of this ride. A little bump that doesn't look like it delivers anything sends you out of your seat, and you stay out of your seat all the way until the brake run. This ride is an airtime machine. The greatest thing about it is most rides you could predict where the airtime is. On this ride, especially with the seat mechanism, you don't know when it's coming. So it hits you when you least expect it. It's one of the most surprising and thrilling sensations. You just finished your first ride on Pipeline. Tell me about your thoughts.
It was absolutely incredible. This was a fantastic addition to SeaWorld. I'm super excited.
Blaine, obviously you liked it enough to buy a hat.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Better than Mako. So much airtime. My feet came off the ground. I'm just so happy to ride this ride.
I've been saying this over Velocicoaster. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I feel like I need to ride it one more time, but I honestly would probably put it above Velocicoaster.
Sure.
Hunter, what do you think about it over Velocicoaster?
Sir, something is wrong with you.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you over the ride.
Something is wrong with you.
Honestly, I gotta say Pipeline is just such a great ride, and no matter how many coaster reviews or videos of people talking about it you watch, or POVs or anything, nothing is gonna be as good as the real experience. I just gotta say, come out here, ride Pipeline, you will not regret it. It is one of the best rides here in Orlando, and I seriously think it's better than great rides like Mako and Velocicoaster. I love this ride.